Suncoast NPI, a world-class networking organization with a community look and feel. We're all about passing qualified business referrals and have chapters throughout the Tampa Bay area. Suncoast NPI, when we pull together,
we all win!
Man, I am stoked. We haven't been on air for a while, and we were loaded up with quality members that I can't wait to get all of them in front of these podcasts. And today, what we're starting with is Amie Stepkoski. And if you don't know Amie Stepkoski, you are missing out. Amie is everything we talk about with Suncoast NPI. Suncoast NPI, we're seat specific, so we're looking for people that are rock stars at what they do, that have a servant's heart, that are committed to the commitment to make the chapters thrive and have each other's back while doing so. And Amie is that all day long and then some. So Amie Stepkoski with Step Above Design, she's a home stager. This is the Amie show right now. So Amie,
yay.
Welcome to our show.
Thanks.
I'm
So nice.
It was? I didn't even make up any of that.
Wow. How much do I owe you?
That's a lot. We're not going to talk about that on air. We're going to start that a little bit later on. So okay. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So I feel like I've known you forever, but there's a lot of people out here that, haven't heard your name yet. You're not on the billboards yet. You don't have your own TV show yet. Okay. But, it's coming. And it could be coming right after this podcast once people hear more about you, So let's talk. Let's just go back to, let's start with an easy question. Why did you choose this profession called home staging?
Okay. Well, I grew up in a family where my grandparents had a design business and flooring business. So I would visit them in the summers and go work with them at the store, follow them around. But anyways, I've always been interested in design. And fast forward a lot, and I met my husband, Jim, that you know. We got married, and...
It's Keanu Reeves, right? Is it really Jim, or is it Keanu?
No, Keanu is not, there's a few more brain cells, I think, in Jim.
Yeah. Keanu has nothing. Sorry, Keanu.
So, anyways, he was in the pharmaceutical industry. We had children. I mean, his career was, taking care of the family. So we moved around a lot. We moved around like 8 times in the first 12 years we were married. Every time I was in charge of getting the house ready for showings and to sell. And so I was really staging and didn't realize it. Just preparing our house for the market. We always sold it. Had a contract in less than 2 weeks. The last time we moved was from New Jersey in 2010. There was a huge layoff up there.
Gotcha.
Challenging market, but we still pulled it off fast and always for top dollar. So when I decided to go back to work, I thought, I had a lot of fun doing that. I've always been interested in real estate. I've always loved design. It was just kind of a good way to mesh it all together.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a little history of success, just in my own personal transactions. So that's kind of where it started.
That's really cool. But I have to come back to you. You mentioned New Jersey. So I can tell right away you guys aren't from New Jersey, because you would have said Jersey, exit 7,
yeah,
right? And then I would have known, all right, Jersey girl. And you would have bigger hair and all that other stuff. And the only reason I can say that is because my wife is a Jersey girl,
I know.
So
I know.
She's used to, listen to Bon Jovi and
right.
Guy Rock and Chomp the Gum. But that's awesome. So you, that's very cool. I appreciate you sharing that. So you already hit on a little bit on what you really love about it. Maybe can you peel that onion back a little bit further on what you love and maybe how you interact with others?
Okay. So I do love real estate. I've always been like a Zillow stalker. I love looking up.
Zillow stalker?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I really do. And so
I just... Make a note on that one.
I'm interested. I like to see what's happening in the real estate world. And for me, I know how good it feels when you've got probably your largest single investment, your home, right? For most people, that's their largest single investment. And it's a very personal thing.
Sure.
And even when you're getting ready to sell it and move on from it, you've got so many memories there. It's a personal transaction, but even though you need to remove yourself from it. So I really like talking to homeowners and helping them step back and look at it as a buyer would, and really try to get the most out of that single investment that they can, because they're going to be better off for it. And then just help them get excited about their next chapter. So I actually specialize in the occupied homes. I know a lot of people think of vacant properties when they think about staging, because they're thinking about bringing in all this furniture and accessories in a vacant space. But I love specializing in the occupied spaces and using what people have, because I really get a chance to get to know them and help them just create a beautiful space with their things that they already love. And it gives them a lot of pride in what they have and what they've done over the years with their space.
Gotcha.
So.
Very cool. And so like the occupied, so why don't we take that one down and drill that one down further? Because I think a lot of people would, vacant, I get it, I bring all this stuff in. Occupied, I mean,
what does that mean?
What does that mean, And, I'm sure there's some occupied that look a lot different than other occupied without being, like, wow, that place is a train wreck.
Right.
And so...
I've never walked into train wrecks.
Yeah, I bet you have. So maybe we should have a train wreck story,
Yeah.
No names mentioned,
no,
HIPAA violation and all that stuff,
Right.
We don't want to do that.
Right. Okay, so, you can probably already tell, and that I'm not an intimidating person. Like, I think I'm pretty likable.
I'm
I
still
like
working
to
on
make
that.
friends.
No,
I like to
I
make
agree.
friends.
You do.
So,
you do.
And I am very intentional in the way that I share my recommendations with the homeowners. And so I just want them to showcase where the greatest value lies in their property. Whether it's the curb, you start with curb appeal, right? That's where your first impressions are made. The curb appeal, and then walking in the entrance. And that has to be on point.
Gotcha.
So a lot of it is just really showcasing those important parts of the home where that buyer's going to walk in and just already get a good feeling just right off the bat. Because have you heard of confirmation bias? No, it's like a psychology term.
Wow.
I know.
I'm going to learn something today. Learn more than stuff. Now my head's starting to hurt.
I have a degree in psychology too, so I get to use that.
Yeah, you're a teacher.
I do. And teaching. I'm like
it's all
the jack
adds
of
up.
all trades, but
confirmation.
Anyway, confirmation bias. So our initial thoughts on something, or the first impression we get, we want to just find more information to feed that. We like to be right. It's like, if I think I'm right, then that's pretty cool. But anyways, your first impression, you're going to look for more things to feed that, if it's positive or negative.
Okay.
So that's why the entry and curb are so important when you're selling a property. But what else?
That's awesome.
What did you ask me?
No, the confirmation bias.
Okay.
How do you do it? I mean, you got this, and I think confirmation bias. I don't know. That's just like.
I know. It's
I'm
a little heavy for you, John.
Hey, go Knowles. How are your services different then? When you mix in the confirmation bias, you do the occupied. I tell you what. Let's go a little bit higher. How dense is this marketplace with home stagers?
It's not really incredibly dense. Honestly, it's kind of a newer thing. Some people just don't even really get it yet, especially on the occupied side.
Okay.
People are starting to see that, vacant, that can be beneficial. But I do feel like I'm always educating people on how this can be just a game changer for realtors and homeowners. So, and really, I guess I kind of lost my train of thought a minute ago because you were so blown away by the confirmation bias. But
I still am.
I know.
I think it's amazing.
So what I do, this is kind of what differentiates me from maybe your vacant stager, of course, but other stagers or people that don't understand like the occupied side. I come in and we walk through every area of the home and talk about how they can do things like might be just a lot of editing or pre-packing. I don't use the C word. Do you know what the C word is?
Confirmation bias.
No.
Dang it!
No, it's clutter. Everybody talks about clutter, you know? It's like, oh my gosh, look how cluttered
Can you ask it
the
again?
house is.
Can you ask it again?
What's the C word? Do you know?
Confidential bias. No, wait, clutter. I got it. Clutter.
You better be listening. So I don't use that word. Don't you think that would, how would you feel if I walked in and said, oh my gosh, John, this kitchen is so cluttered?
I would say, yeah, I know.
No,
but
actually, that's
my
not
wife.
even true. I've seen
You're
your
asking a guy that. I mean, come on, really?
I know. Well, I
ask
know.
Amanda that, you're like, oh yeah, it's a wreck. It's beyond cluttered.
Well, it doesn't give you that warm, fuzzy feeling if somebody calls your house cluttered.
Maybe a different word.
But if I walk in and say, you know what, let's pre-pack some of these items and edit the space so that buyers will walk in and notice these beautiful countertops and this gorgeous backsplash you have.
Oh, see.
Isn't that nice?
All of a sudden, I do feel a little warmer and I feel a little fuzzier all over.
I know. And I'm trying to partner with you to help you bring in top dollar because we're going to show off those valuable features in your home and take away the distractions. That's what it's all about, is getting those distractions out.
Yes.
I'm not going to talk about your ugly art collection. I'm going to say
you don't like my Allen Toussaint. You don't like my Allen Toussaint New Orleans Jazz Festival in our kitchen, do you? That's what you just said.
That. I didn't say
wow. Allen Toussaint, may he rest in peace. So I'm going to ask you a loaded question because I have something to follow this up on.
Okay.
So it's a pretty dynamic market right now. Right?
Yeah.
Things are selling relatively quickly, if not insanely quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So what do you say to the realtor that's like, hey, I'm going to put this thing up and it's going to be gone tomorrow?
Yeah, it probably will. But the question is, what kind of offers are you going to get? And what are you going to be able to list at if it doesn't look at its absolute best? I mean, honestly, I would not, if I were coming in for a job interview with you, John, I know you, and let's just say that you're going to interview me for some position you're hiring for. Just because I think I'm a shoo-in, do you think I'm going to show up without brushing my teeth and combing my hair?
I don't think you would.
You don't live like that. I mean, come on. I know I wouldn't. And you know I wouldn't.
No, I'm just being silly.
But, I mean, I think, it's so important first of all, for homeowners to feel like they want to put their best foot forward when they're putting their property out there.
Right.
They're going to get more money.
Right.
I mean, your home, I don't care if it's a hot market or a cold market, there are other properties out there that are your competition.
Right.
And somebody is going to care about what they're putting out there. So why not make yours shine? And as far as realtors, I mean, to me, that should be your number one goal as a realtor, is to provide the absolute best service you can for the homeowner, right, and always have their best interest in mind. So how do you put pictures out there of just, a destroyed family room or laundry all over the place or just distractions everywhere,
right,
and feel like that you're really serving that homeowner.
Gotcha. Or clutter.
Yeah.
Or clutter.
No,
So, I don't even know if you know this. So this was a awesome question because I was at another Suncoast NPI chapter, and your name came up as a thank you for a qualified business referral. And your name came up not only as a house being sold, no names mentioned, but the house was a high 6 digits.
Yeah.
And they said with using your services, they got an extra $35,000 just by utilizing your services. And I bet your services don't cost $35,000, do they?
No, they don't at all. I mean, the consultation is definitely affordable and highly effective. A lot of my realtors pay for that as part of their service for, their listing services.
Right.
Because it does have such a huge impact. I mean, if they got $30,000 more, that realtor's commission is another maybe 3% of that, and most importantly, that homeowner, that is money in their pocket.
Right.
And that's what I just am blown away sometimes when I'll see before this market. I mean, this is a crazy market. Okay, we haven't seen anything like this, but I do still see reductions in prices, like houses that are put on the market and they're maybe just overly ambitious for the number they're going to get, I've seen some price reductions still. And so when you reduce it, it's going to be 10 grand or 5 grand. I mean, that is money that would be in your pocket. So invest a little bit to get this great impact and game changer really for that seller and for the realtor's brand.
Yeah.
Because all the times that we moved around in the beginning of our marriage, before we listed our house, I went online to see what those listings look like for the agents' names that were given to us, because I want to see how they represent their clients. And if it was, dark iPhone photos and there was a laundry basket in the recliner, no, I don't want them representing my largest investment. So it's a branding thing.
And that, wasn't a dark iPhone. That was really like a Palm Pilot.
Yeah, back then you're probably right.
Medium ran BlackBerry, so it's
Polaroid.
Snap. Okay, you're gonna wait 30 seconds.
Wait.
So
not as old as you are, John.
Hey, this is a friendly conversation. We'll take that one off air. So no, that's awesome, and I appreciate what you do. To me, it sounds like it's a win-win-win. So I mean, it's a no-brainer why realtors at least should have conversations with you and understand what you can bring to the table. So I encourage any realtor that's actually, if they haven't had a conversation with Amie, feel free to reach out to her. And how can you do that? How can they reach out to you, Amie?
Well, I have a Facebook page at A Step Above Designs. Also, my personal page is fine. Amie, AMIE, at astepabovedesigns.com. Those are all
perfect.
Good ways to reach out. So
awesome. If I may, let's pivot a little bit here.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun, right? Let's do this little word called entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So you stepped out, right? You stepped out on your own to do this, and it's a different world, right? It's a different world. Raising the kids, it's a different world, and from being a teacher. So, what's your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
Well, it's definitely freedom. Just to run my business the way I want to, focus on what I want to focus on. Serve who I want to serve. That sort of thing. Of course, there's not as much freedom as I thought there would be when I entered. It's like, well, if you want to be in business, you gotta. I thought, I have total control over my schedule, but actually, I really don't, because if I want to serve these realtors, they're under they're getting pressure from their sellers to go. So then they call me and say, "Oh, can you do this today, tomorrow, in 2 days?" Right. It's like, okay, well, that's a little control over my schedule, and I can set boundaries, right? Yep. But you still got to be available for your clients, to serve them well. So,
Absolutely.
So freedom with a little, asterisk beside that.
So at one point later on, this will be another podcast, but we'll do the infamous cash flow quadrant with Robert Kiyosaki, right? Because right now I'm hearing we're in the bottom left, and you really want to get in the upper right. But that's a whole other conversation.
I know, you're right.
So, but with that,
so I might have control issues too.
Hey, one step at a time, right? One step at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
So obviously, it can be a tough for anybody that's been out there that's tried it on their own. So when times are down, the sales aren't coming, or you're hearing no, or you're just frustrated, what's kind of helps you to stay focused and move forward and making progress in those times?
So you and I have a mutual friend that I sat down with when I started this whole thing, and I said something about, well, what, the statistics on all those businesses that just fail, and it was a friend of ours, Ryan, and he said, well, Amie, if you really looked into the statistics, a lot of businesses fail because people just quit and they went and got, a corporate job or just some other job. So he said, just don't quit. So I've always had that in the back of my mind. Like, I don't even know if he realizes that I still think about that. But so you just got to keep going. I mean, you are going to it's a roller coaster. You're going to have really good days, really tough days, and that I've realized that when I'm on a really big high and just had a great day and, things are moving and I'm feeling successful. I make note of that because when you're going to get back on the down,
Absolutely.
the down low, and then you're going to need to remember those days that were really good to get you back, because you know you can get back there.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I think that surrounding yourself with other entrepreneurs can be huge, because if you're surrounding yourself with other people that are, driven and, excited about their business and want to learn, want to grow. I think entrepreneurs are very open-minded. They want to learn, they want to grow, and so you're around other people that have similar goals, and somebody's going to be up here when you're down here, and vice versa. You just kind of help each other. You lift each other up when you need to. Amen. And that's been one of my favorite parts of all this. It's just the people that I've met. Yeah. That are not necessarily people that I'm invoicing or that they're writing me a check, but like we're in this together, and I've met so many other people that are passionate about what they do, and we just find ways to help each other. It's so rewarding. It's really kind of a part that I didn't even think about, because I didn't know to think about it before.
Well, that's a pearl of wisdom right there. And it's like what our pastor often says, right? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And it's like, around abundant thinking individuals. I liked what you said earlier, like a roller coaster ride, right? So it's ups and downs, and it's like, why can't we just be even keel all the time? Well, it's kind of hard that day. So I tell you what, can we kind of wrap with one last kind of theme? So in the spirit of your business, spirit of entrepreneurship, how have you gone about marketing your business to date? And behind that, what tactics have you seen that's been most successful for you? I think this might be helpful for the audience for a good close.
Well, so my husband Jim. He's totally that entrepreneurial spirit and sales guy. He's been in sales forever. I'm not a salesperson. I love the staging. I love the design, but I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to sell this? Like, how am I going to get clients? And I knew you already from church, but I heard about this Suncoast NPI thing you had with networking, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could never do that because I don't know how to sell anything. Jim's the one that does that, not me, Jim, can you go sell my business and then I'll just do all the jobs? That's what I really wanted to do, but wasn't going to work that way. So anyways, I decided to visit Suncoast NPI chapter because I just thought I got to get myself out there, and I knew that I had to find a way that was comfortable for me to sell my business. And first of all, I had to get comfortable with sharing it.
Sure.
It's like the messaging. I mean, why is that so hard to talk about what we do? But it really was for me at first. Like, I knew what I did up here, but getting that message across where it was meaningful to other people that might want to hire me was a whole different ballgame. So, once I plugged in to this networking group and met other people that were trying to figure this out too, or had it figured out that I could learn from, as far as the sales. So I was good at what I did. I just needed to learn how to tell people, that was a game changer for me, because I knew that every single week I was going to be in there talking about my business. I was going to have a room full of salespeople to share my business with, and I could mess up in front of them. That's okay, but sometimes I would just kill it, and then people would come up and ask questions, say, oh yeah, you mentioned this, Amie, I do know somebody that could probably use your services, or just based on whatever I shared that week. It was amazing to see just the light bulbs go off in other people, and they're like, oh yeah, now I get what you do, and so they could be out there sharing that with other people, and then I grow because I get feedback, and I learn from other people and how they share their business. I mean, I can't even tell you how much personal growth I've experienced just as a person and as a professional. And then I've just built like this family of people that we all just want to help each other, lift each other up, you know, do what we can to help everybody in that room reach their goals. And that has really been my marketing, because it's, for me, I wanted a relationship-based business, and that's not as intimidating as, you know, I'm not going to be cold calling. And I don't like, that's intimidating to me, and sometimes you have to do that, I realize, but if I can have a relationship-based business, that's easy, because that doesn't feel like selling.
Right. So, word of mouth.
That's the long answer.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. Not to put you on the spot, how about you have a motivational quote that you like, or maybe a verse that you like
Oh,
that you want to share with the world?
gosh, not to put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not really a motivational quote. It's not a quote, but it's just like, you could have at least given me a little warning.
I know. That's the curveball at the end, you know. So like the people, this is the first one, everybody. So you guys know there's a curveball at the end. We get blushing and all this stuff, and it's the real you. It comes out. It's perfect.
Okay.
You want to do one together?
No.
Come on. That'd be good.
I know a good one that I like, but I can't think of it exactly, and I'll mess it up.
No, here we do it together.
Okay.
Good.
Better.
Best.
Never let it rest.
Tell the good is better.
And the better is best.
Oh yeah! Episode number 1, Suncoast NPI Podcast. Amie Stepkoski, a step above design. You killed it. Thank you for watching us today on our Suncoast NPI Podcast. And if you want to follow us further, find us on any of our social media pages, starting with suncoastnpi.com.